ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Joy Nitai. So today we'll be discussing about the unlimited glories and pastimes of Sri Virabhadra Goswami, also known as Sri Virachandra Goswami, and sometimes the Goswami is affectionately shortened to Goshai. So I may use these names interchangeably. Who is Virabhadra Goswami? Virabhadra Goswami is the son of Akhanda Guru Tattva Sri Nityananda Ram. And Sri Virabhadra Goswami, it is explained in Gaur Ganadesh Deepika that he is Shirodakshai Vishnu. He is that Vishnu who lies upon the ocean of milk and is also present within every atom of both organic and inorganic matter. And most importantly, he is the Paramatma within the heart of every living entity. So because Virabhadra Goswami is Paramatma, Paramatma has a very important role in all of our lives because he is Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru is the one who guides us, who gives us the intuition and the intelligence to do this, to not to do this, to do this, to not to do this. He is guiding our every movement. So as we are all sadhakas and we are trying to attain service of our Ishtadev, we always should consult our Chaitya Guru within the heart. We must become in tune with Chaitya Guru in our heart. And by describing the pastimes and glories of Sri Virachandra Prabhu, this will be easily obtained. So even before Virabhadra Prabhu appeared on this planet, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Nilachal Dham, he took Nityananda Prabhu to a very secluded place. This is the speciality of Gaur Nitai's relationship. They are so intimate. They have conversations that no one in this world can even understand. But fortunately, by the grace of Vrindavan Das Thakur, these have been elucidated so beautifully within Chaitanya Bhagavat and Nityananda Charitamrita. So what does Mahaprabhu brings Nityananda Prabhu to this secluded place? And what does he say? Tumi jao Guru deshe koroho samsar tobe sob loker hoibe nistar. O Shripad Nityananda Prabhu, please go back to Bengal and enter into Grihastha Ashram. Only if you do this will all the fallen jivas in this world be delivered by your mercy. So from this we can understand that one does not have to be in the renounced order of life in sannyas or brahmacharya in order to be a perfect devotee. Lord Nityananda showed by his personal example that one can become the topmost devotee even within Grihastha Ashram. Then Mahaprabhu continues on to say this. Punoho ashibo ami tomaro mondire, tomaro grihe hobe amar avatare. Aha, what a nice prediction. Mahaprabhu is telling Nitai that I will again appear in your home, Your home is a mandir. It's the greatest temple of Krishna Bhakti. So I shall appear again in your home. And then he continues on to explain why he wants to appear again. Bhukti bilaya puno ashibo samsar gupu avatar shastre nahete prachar. Why will I come again? Because I want to continue on the movement that I already started, this Sankirtan movement. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaves the world, there's so much lamentation, and Mahaprabhu wanted to make sure that we are able to stay in touch with him through this Sankirtan process that he has so mercifully given us. And to continue his movement in his absence, he is sending Veer Chandra Avatar in Nityananda Prabhu's Griha Mandir. So Mahaprabhu made this wonderful prediction, and later on, Veer Chandra Prabhu appeared, and this in itself is a very wonderful, extraordinary pastime, because Nityananda Prabhu and Vasudha Mata, every time they would have a son, Abhiram Thakur, who is Sridham in Krishna's Leela, he is the principal Sakha in Krishna's Leela, he would come to Nityananda Prabhu's residence and offer obeisances to that baby. And as soon as he would do that, the babies would leave their body. And this happened over and over and over again. So finally, when Veer Chandra Prabhu appeared on this planet, Nityananda Prabhu said, "No, I am not going to invite this Abhiram Thakur to come, because he has already taken so many of our sons." And he instructed all the boatmen who were there near the Ganga that if you see anyone on the other side named Abhiram Thakur, please do not bring him across to our Kardaha Gram. That's where Veer Chandra Prabhu appeared, in Kardaha. So the boatmen all had instructions from Nitai. But meanwhile, on the other side, Vakreshwar Pandit went to see Abhiram Thakur, and he asked Abhiram Thakur, haven't you heard? Nityananda Prabhu has had a son, and there's a huge celebration going on." And Abhiram Thakur said, "Yes, I know, but I'm not invited, so I'm just staying here." And Vakreshwar Pandit said, "No, this pastime of Veer Chandra Prabhu's appearance, it cannot be fully auspicious until you arrive there." So Abhiram Thakur said, "All right, somehow I'll go there even without an invitation." So he came on that other bank of the Ganga, and the boatmen could tell this is Abhiram Thakur, so they all got very afraid, thinking of Nityananda Prabhu's order. They drowned their own boats within the Ganga. Abhiram Thakur said, "Never mind, I do not need a boat." So he took off a piece of his cloth that he was wearing. He threw it in the Ganga, and he sat upon that cloth, and he just floated right across all the way to Kardaha. So then Abhiram Thakur shows up at Nityananda Prabhu's home. So Nityananda Prabhu sat him down very nicely, gave him prasad, and Abhiram Thakur, he said, "Well, eating prasad is very nice, but my real purpose here is to come see your son. I want to offer obeisances to him." So Vasudha Mata and Janava Mata, externally they showed that they were very upset, and they prayed to Abhiram Thakur, please, already so many sons have gone, at least spare this one son. And Abhiram Thakur said, please understand, if your son is worthy of being Nityananda Prabhu's son, then nothing will happen to him. So Nityananda Prabhu knew that this son, Virabhadra Prabhu, is non-different from Shirodakshaya Vishnu and non-different from Mahaprabhu himself. So he smiled and he brought Virabhadra Prabhu to Abhiram Thakur, and Abhiram Thakur offered obeisances, but nothing happened to Virabhadra Prabhu. He was just lying there and playing and smiling. So Abhiram Thakur, he was so filled with ecstasy that he uttered these few lines. Jena dekhe gora dekhe ar bar, punurbar she Gaur bir avatar. Those who were not able to see Mahaprabhu's manifest pastimes on this planet, they are equally fortunate to those who have, because they are seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's second form as Virabhadra avatar. So we can understand that Virabhadra Prabhu and Mahaprabhu are non-different. So Virabhadra Prabhu, he appeared in Khardaha. So what is interesting to know is, how did Khardaha get the name Khardaha? It's a very interesting pastime. So, before I go on to that, one thing I want to say is that Advaita Acharya also came to see Virabhadra Goswami at his appearance, and he declared that this boy has the greatest thief as his father. Nityananda Prabhu is the greatest thief. So with such a thief as his father, this son is also going to turn out to be the same way, a great thief. So what is the hidden meaning of these words? Because Nityananda Prabhu steals our minds, our hearts, our everything, just by saying the name Nityananda. Everything just goes towards Nitai. And that's the meaning of the name Nitai. Take me. So Nityananda Prabhu is asking that we take him, and in turn, he is taking our minds and our hearts. He is stealing them. So similarly, Virabhadra Goswami, he is, he's the exact same as Nitai. All the qualities that were present in Nitai are also present in Virabhadra Goswami. And actually, I think now is the right time to, before I go on to explain Kardaha, I would like to speak a little bit about Virabhadra Prabhu's glories from Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And who inspired Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to write Chaitanya Charitamrita? Nityananda Prabhu. So these are also correlated in such a beautiful way that it's really indescribable. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Shri Virabhadra Gosai Skanda Mahashakha Tahar Uposhakha Jata Ashankhatar Lekha. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is compared to a huge tree. And this tree has two sides, one that's predominated by Nityananda Prabhu, and the other one is predominated by Advaita Acharya. So according to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the heaviest branch, the one that is the most important branch of this Chaitanya tree on the side of Nityananda Prabhu, is Virabhadra Goswami. Tar upo shakha jato অসংখ্য তার লেখা, the sub-branches coming from Virabhadra Goswami's trunk, those cannot even be counted. অসংখ্য, they're uncountable, they're too many to count. So that's how important Sri Virabhadra Goswami is to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. And then he goes on to say, Ishvara hoite kahai Mahabhagavata Vedo dharma titohan Vedo dharme rata. Although Sri Virabhadra Goswami is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead means that he's beyond all the Vedic injunctions. Vedic injunctions are given for us so that we can attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So obviously, he is going to be transcendental to that. However, Virabhadra Goswami very strictly followed all the Vedic injunctions for our benefit so that we can learn from him how to be a Mahabhagavat, how to be the topmost level of devotee. And then this verse is so beautiful. অন্তরে ঈশ্বর চেষ্টা বাহিরে নির্দম্ভ চৈতন্য ভক্তি মণ্ডপে তেনহু মূল স্তম্ভ. অন্তরে ঈশ্বর চেষ্টা বাহিরে নির্দম্ভ. Internally, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but externally, he's the most humble. And this is really what sets Virabhadra Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu apart from all these other avatars. Because as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna has true ego, and as jivas we have false ego. So our type of ego is wrong, that's false ego. Krishna has real ego. Why? Because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he has a right to have that type of ego. If Krishna says, I'm the center of the universe, well, that's true. But if we say we're the center of the universe, that's false. However, Nityananda Prabhu and Virabhadra Prabhu, they have no ahankar, no abhiman, no pride at all. They will fall at every jiva's feet and beg to take Mahaprabhu's name as our life and soul. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that Mahaprabhu's movement is also compared to a long, unending hallway. What's happening in this hallway? Sankirtan. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Just like Ras Leela in Krishna Leela is the epitome of like the climax of all ras that can be gotten. In Chaitanya Leela, Ras Leela is Sankirtan. So in this Sankirtan hall that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has established, Virabhadra Prabhu is the Mula Stambha. He's the principal pillar that's holding the whole thing together. So if Virabhadra Goswami wasn't there, the whole thing would crash. So you must be very grateful to Virabhadra Goswami for providing such a strong foundation for this hall of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. And then, the next part is extremely important, especially for all the Nitai yogis out there. So listen carefully to this. অথাপি যাহার কৃপা মহিমা হইতে চৈতন্য নিত্যানন্দ গায় সকল জগতে. It is only by Virabhadra Prabhu's insurmountable mercy that Nityananda Gauranga Nam is being preached throughout the universe. So whatever attempts are being made to glorify the holy names of Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu, these are happening under the inspiration and direction of Virabhadra Prabhu. And why do we need to chant Nityananda Gauranga Nam? Because Harinam has so many considerations. There are the 10 Namaparāds. There's Vaishnava Parad, which severely hinders our ability to benefit from Mahamantra. And then there's Pramad, or inattentiveness. So with these 12 things that we have to combat, where is our hope? But if we take shelter of the holy names of Nityananda and Gauranga, they can easily award us pure taste for chanting Mahamantra. And all this is happening by the direction of Virabhadra Prabhu. So anytime it's our duty actually because Nityananda Gauranga Nam is so rare. They're just like diamonds. Nobody knows the worth of them because we're all so poor. Even though they're the most available, they're more available than Harinam and they don't consider any offenses. But still, they're so rare. So it's our duty to let everyone know about the importance of Nityananda Gauranga Nam. And in our pursuit of doing that, we need to take shelter of Virabhadra Goswami because it's only by his mercy that those endeavors will become successful. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami sums it up by saying this. Shri Virabhadra Goshair Loinu Sharon Jahar Prasade Hoy Abhishta Puran. I take shelter of the lotus feet of Shri Virabhadra Goswami. Just by taking shelter of him, all desires become fulfilled. By his mercy, all desires become fulfilled. So we should really desire strongly to develop love for Nityananda Prabhu. And the one who can grant that, the one who we can go to with full guarantee that we will have our desire fulfilled. And that is Virabhadra Goswami. So now, having learned a bit more about Virchandra Goswami's glories, let's go back to Kardaha, because the place in which the Mahabhagavat comes, that place needs to be glorified, and we need to understand about that place. So Kardaha, Virabhadra Prabhu was a very stalwart preacher from the very beginning of his life. And one day, he used to travel all across and preach to many different types of people. Many people, just by seeing him, they would become Vaishnavas, as we'll talk about later. So one day he reached Malda district in Bengal. And there was a Mohammedan Nawab and his wife. And the wife was very sick. So one tantric advised that king that if you capture some brahmanas and puncture them or hurt them severely, draw their blood, give it to the queen, then she will become totally fine. So the king was desperate and he caught a bunch of people, and on the way he met Virabhadra Prabhu also, who was preaching in the area. So he also captured Virabhadra Goswami. So upon capturing Virabhadra Goswami, he put him in the prison, and Virabhadra Goswami could see that the residents, the brahmanas in the prison, they were extremely dejected because they were in imminent danger of harsh punishment. So Virabhadra Goswami, because he's the embodiment of compassion, He did not want them to go through that ordeal. And he went to the king. And he told the king, you do not need this blood to cure your wife. This is such an inauspicious way of going about this. I will cure her. So he went to that queen and gave her the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So immediately upon taking the Mahamantra, the queen became cured, which increased the faith of both the king and queen quite a bit in Virabhadra Prabhu. So the king surrendered unto the lotus feet of Virabhadra Prabhu and asked, how may I serve you? I know I can't repay you in any way, but how may I serve you? Whatever you want, I'll try to give you in the best of my capacity. So Virabhadra Prabhu, he saw this huge, large stone in that palace of the king. And he said, I just want that stone from your palace. And the king said, okay, but it's such a huge stone. Maybe even if 100 men come, they won't be able to lift that. So Virabhadra Prabhu just smiled, and he went to that stone and very easily pulled it out of the wall. And he instructed the king, now get about 500 men, and we will wrap up this stone with khar. Khar means like a dry straw. So 500 men came. Somehow by Virabhadra Prabhu's mercy, they were able to lift that stone and tie it up with the khar, that dried grass. And then the king asked, okay, now what are you going to do? So Virabhadra Goswami said, I'm going to throw this in the Ganga. And the king was flabbergasted. You just went through all this trouble to throw it in the Ganga? And Virabhadra Prabhu, he laughed. He threw the stone in the Ganga. And then him and his associates, they started kirtan, and very leisurely, because they were so much in bhav while chanting. Several days later, they arrived in Kardaha. And they saw the stone is there. So that stone floated all the way from Malda to Kardaha. So Kar means, as I explained, that dry straw, and Daha means to float. So that tract of land became known as Kardaha. And so then what did he do with that stone? He unwrapped it, and then he called one great devotee named Bhaskar Thakur. According to Gauraganandesh Deepika, Bhaskar Thakur is Vishwakarma. So he instructed to please make, he said, I am envisioning these beautiful forms of Radha Krishna. I would like you to make them. So he gave specific instructions what to do. And finally the deities were done, but Virabhadra Goswami said, they're very beautiful, but they're not exactly how I was envisioning them. They're a bit too small. So anyway, he named them Radha Vallabh, and they were put in a nearby village, close by, to Kardaha. And then he said, it's okay, try again. So from that same stone, Bhaskar Thakur again started his service, and the forms of Radha Krishna were complete. And Virabhadra Goswami came, and he said, they're so nice, but still they're not exactly how I envisioned them. They seem a little bit bigger than what I was expecting. But he named them Radha Nanda Dulal, and they're still there in another neighboring village. So finally Virabhadra Prabhu said, please make the deities in between the ones you made, the prior Radha Krishna you made before. So Bhaskar Thakur followed his instructions, and this time Virabhadra Prabhu said, yes, perfect. And these deities are the life and soul of Kartaha, Radha Sham Sundar. And Radha Sham Sundar are very special deities because initially Nityananda Prabhu merged into Sham Sundar. But because of the intense separation, Vipralambha, that Janava Mata, Vasudha Mata, Virabhadra Goswami were displaying, especially Janava Mata, Hey Prananath, please come back. How can I live without you? What about all these fallen jivas that need you? Please come back. And because Janava Mata's potency is so great, Nityananda Prabhu came out of Sham Sundar. So this is the great potency of Janava Mata. Janava Mata ki jai. But in that temple, Radha Sham Sundar are there. Also, one very special Ananta Shila is in that temple. That Ananta Shila was carried around the neck of Nityananda Prabhu himself. Wherever Nityananda Prabhu is to go, Ananta Shila and Sankarshan Shila, he used to carry them with him, and those two are in that wonderful temple of Radha Sham Sundar. So this is how they were established. And then Virabhadra Prabhu, when he became a youth, Janava Mata was very concerned for him, and she wanted him to get married. So there was one devotee named Jadunathacharya, and he had 2 daughters, Srimati and Narayani. So Vishnu Tattva, they always have Sri Devi and Bhudevi. So these two were his Sri Shakti and Bhu Shakti, Veerchandra Prabhu's Shaktis, Srimati and Narayani. So they married Veerchandra Prabhu, and then Veerchandra Prabhu, Srimati Devi, Narayani Devi, they all got initiated by Janava Mata. They got the topmost guru, Ananga Manjari, as their own guru. So, and Jadunathacharya, he took initiation from Virabhadra Prabhu. So we should learn that our guru can be in any form. Sometimes there's stigma that, oh, I can't take initiation from such and such person, he's younger than me, or he's of a lower caste than me, or all of these considerations are absolutely useless and very detrimental to our spiritual lives. So this is how that happened. And then Virabhadra Prabhu, he went to Akchakra after a while, and he became the most stalwart servant of Shri Radha Bankim Rai. And Janava Mata, of course, is on Bakarai's right side. And also another very beautiful pastime that happened in Akchakra was that 2,000 Buddhist monks, they came by, and just by Virabhadra Prabhu's darshan, they became Vaishnavas. This is what I was talking about before. Virabhadra Prabhu's prabhav, his influence, was so great that he need not even preach using his words. Just by seeing him, people became Vaishnavas. So those Buddhists, they went from atheists to Vaishnavas. That's a huge step. Buddhists don't even believe in any personal God. They're Shunyavadis. So they became Vaishnavas, and they dug all those, this is described, Prabhupada says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that those 2,000 Buddhists, for the pleasure of Virabhadra Prabhu, they dug a beautiful kunda, and Swayam Ganga Devi from Patal came up and entered that kunda, and it is now known as Sweta Ganga. So that's a very beautiful pastime. When you go to Ek Chakra Dham and you go to Sweta Ganga, this pastime should always be recollected and worshipped. And Virabhadra Prabhu also had some very beautiful deities in Ekachakra Dham: Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Vrindavan Chandra, and Gaur Nitai. And these deities are still there in Ekachakra. They're being served very nicely by the Goswamis there. And Virabhadra Prabhu's Samadhi is right there in Bakarai temple. So Nityananda Prabhu merged into Bakarai. Janava Mata is next to Bakarai. Virchandra Prabhu is there. And then just few steps away is Sweta Ganga. So the whole divine family is present right there. And this is why Ek Chakra has such a heavy impression on our souls. You can't escape it. When you go to Ek Chakra, you can't escape all the mercy that's surrounding you. So, yes, and so now that I've described a little bit about Virchandra Prabhu's glories and his pastimes, I want to talk a little bit about his legacy and teachings. So one big teaching, because Virchandra Prabhu is Chaitya Guru within all of our hearts, and he is the son of Akhanda Guru Tattva, Sri Nityanandaram. He does not tolerate any offense to the Guru. And this is a big thing we need to be aware about. There was one so-called devotee named Jaya Gopal, and due to his extensive reading of Shastra, he became very proud of himself. And when people used to ask him, "Who is your Guru?" he used to give the name of his Param Guru there, his Guru's Guru. He wouldn't give the name of his own Guru. Why? Because he thought his own Guru was not knowledgeable enough. He was ashamed of his own Guru. So Virchandra Goswami was so irate, angry at this Guru Avagya, that he wrote a letter to all the devotees in Bengal, in Vrindavan, all over, saying, "Do not associate with this Jai Gopal." So we really need to be careful about who we associate with and our attitude towards our Guru. Who we associate with, because if we even hear the ninda of our Guru, practically our spiritual life is finished. So we need to take the necessary measures to prevent that from happening. And we must not judge our Guru in any way. Even if externally he may appear to even be illiterate, just like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. Most people said, "Oh, he doesn't even know how to read or write." But the cream of all knowledge was within his heart, was within his achar, and his prochar was his achar. He taught by his own example. So that shows us he is so much better than those who read Shastra and then get proud. Obhiman shunno Nitai Gour berai. When Nityananda Prabhu himself is free from all pride, then why are we so proud of ourselves? Who are we to be proud of ourselves? There's nothing to be proud of. And finally, one thing is that Virchandra Prabhu established the practice of Nityananda Trayodasi, the celebration of Nityananda Trayodasi on a grand scale, just like Narottam Das Thakur established Gaur Purnima on a grand scale. He inaugurated that. So we should always appreciate Virabhadra Prabhu's contribution and also appreciate how Nitai came to this world full of suffering and hypocrisy and quarrel. And he gave them the highest benediction that's inconceivable to even Brahma and hard to attain for even Lord Shiva. So let us all remember these pastimes, never forget these pastimes. Every day we should pray to Virchandra Prabhu because, as we said, he fulfills all our desires that are conducive to Nitai Bhakti. So, Shri Virchandra Goswami ki jai.